SJ, welcome to Mvskoke Radio, your weekly source for tribal and community news, interesting guests and discussions, plus a local events calendar. SJ, welcome to Mvskoke Radio. Gary 5, Jaho Jifkados.
Morgan Taylor, Jaho Jifkados.
We are here in the wonderful studios of the Brew, and I think Brooks had some problem with the audio this morning. Anyway, we're not getting what we need to hear, but we're going to go ahead with the show anyway.
Well, I hope they can hear us.
Yeah, so if you can't hear us, wave. We have two segments we're going to be sharing today. First of all, we'll be speaking with the outgoing, God, I can't say, Miss Mvskoke Nation, and one of her chaperones. And find out how the pageant's doing, where we're going with it this year, and kind of the logistics. In the second half of the program, we'll be speaking with Ryan Logan about the upcoming Mvskoke Festival. That wonderful chance to get out and play, enjoy the rides, arts and crafts, exhibitions, everything else that we have missed for the last 2 years. So first of all, welcome, folks. We appreciate you coming in to talk with us.
So if you guys want to go ahead and introduce yourselves, we'll start with you, Miss Mvskoke Nation.
Okay. Stungun Full Scott, Claudia McHenry, Judge of Kados, Ami Legida, Horokogi, Ami Dowa, Tomochezi, College of Mvskoke Nation, Amahaga, Chuko Soho, Ijidos, Halebi Kanadi, Anchogo Flakados, Mado.
Awesome. That was really good. What did you say?
So I said, hi, how are you guys? My name is Claudia McHenry. I'm Wind Clan, and my tribal town is Tomochezi. I said that I go to school at Mvskoke, or the College of Mvskoke Nation, but that's false because I just graduated. But and then I said that I dance for Halebi Ceremonial Grounds.
Okay. And if you want to introduce yourself and talk about you were a former princess, right?
Yes, so Hishay, Shannon Barnett to Jifkados. Hello, my name is Shannon Barnett, and today I'm here with our Miss Claudia on chaperone duties. So I'm part of the pageant committee, but I'm also a former Miss.
Okay, and so what is your role on the pageant committee?
So we're just volunteers, so we volunteer our time to help the girls throughout the year and help be mentors and just prepare for the pageant because the prep starts really early in the year, actually.
Okay, and so about what time were you a princess?
I was 2015, 2016 Miss Mvskoke Creek Nation. And then as soon as I gave up my title to the next title holder, I joined the committee, and I've been on ever since.
Awesome. And so how do you guys assist the girls in their duties?
So in particular, my role is I get to be a language coach. So all of the contestants get assigned a language coach that kind of helps them from the start at royalty retreat all the way up into the pageant to help them with the Mvskoke language and kind of just tips and pointers and anything they need advice for.
Okay, so you're kind of there during their whole reign from contestant to ending their term, right?
Yes, so last year actually Claudia and Gabby were my two contestants that I got to work with.
Yeah, it was solid. It wasn't no cheating, but it was fun. It was really rewarding because I've taken a lot of pointers from Shannon even before, us being paired with her, so it was really cool to see that, I was able to make my mentor proud by winning and stuff, so.
First of all, Shannon, it would help if I turned the silly mic on. Do you miss it? I mean, you've been through this experience, all of the tension and suspense and things like that, and hard work and sweat. And now you're in a position where you're assisting the oncoming royalty. So do you miss it?
Yeah, of course I miss it, but it's also fun to get to see other Muskogee women have this opportunity and experiences. And I just love to be there on the committee to help support them because people were really supportive when I was Miss.
As you get into the competition, both of you here now, what's the biggest worry maybe that you have on your minds as you go through the competition, you show your skills and yourself, answer questions about what is essentially a personality? What do you sweat out the most, Shannon?
Ooh, I think for me it was like the impromptu question part of it, just because they could ask you anything and you're on stage and you have a time limit. And I think now even they have a clock that's displayed so the contestants have like a minute so you can see and make sure you don't go over that time. But I just think that was probably the hardest because it's like the most random. You just get a question at random.
Yeah, a lot of pressure to come up with something on the slide like
Yeah.
that. You know?
Your answer, Sofkey.
That's the go-to. That's what you say when you don't know what to say. So, do you remember what your question was?
I really don't. I think it was just kind of career goals, because I think I was saying how much I love the Muskogee language and wanting to be a teacher, and that is kind of part of what I get to do now.
Okay, so as a princess, do you have like a platform that you have to kind of be like, I'm against this or for this?
Yes. So my platform this year was Muskogee Identity, and that's something that I tied in from the pageant throughout my reign. So for the pageant, my cultural presentation was storytelling, and I did it in Muskogee. And I did that because I wanted to reiterate the importance of oral traditions, and that's, you know, how we got the knowledge that we have and how we continue to push our culture forward. So that's why I did it that night. And then throughout my reign, I've done just a couple different things, you know, kind of as much as I can. So in the fall, I did a skirt making class, and so I wanted to share how that was important to me and how I identify that within the culture, you know, just being able to make skirts and, you know, wear them in public and wear them for dances and stuff like that. And then the other event that I'm planning to do, which is this Friday, it is the Remembrance Walk. And the reason I chose to do this is because I feel like that is the basis of why I have a struggle with my identity, because our people at a young age were forced to go to residential schools and forget everything that they knew about being Muskogee and stuff. And so that's where I feel like it altered me, and that was like generations before I was even born. So it's something that I want to bring light to and, you know, just kind of honor those people, those children, and, you know, think about how that affects me. So, like, you know, just being disconnected from my culture a little bit.
Let me ask you the same question I just asked Shannon. With all of the excitement and tension and things going on, what was it that you worried about the most?
I didn't try to sweat it. I just wanted to, because, you know, I've tried for this title, not this Miss title, but for Junior Miss. I was in the pageant twice before, so, like, I knew what I worried about then, which was just bringing confidence and believing in myself. So I tried to not worry about that this time. I just wanted to, no matter the results or anything, I just wanted to know that I did my best. And so I didn't really try to, like, worry about things or focus on certain things. I just wanted to wholly be prepared and stuff like that.
Confident.
Yeah.
Do you think your role as Miss Muskogee Nation has helped develop that confidence that you didn't have when you were younger?
Yes, I think so. And, you know, not even having the title, but even just running for it really helped me become a public speaker and, you know, reflect on thoughts and try to bring forward a change to the community, as well as being, like, a better Muskogee woman, understanding my roles and really amplifying that for others to take those roles as Muskogee woman. So.
Well, I think that you bring a lot of grace, and so I really appreciate you in your role doing this. I know you've done a lot during your time. What are some of your favorite experiences?
I think my favorite experience was whenever I was able to I like being in parades, so that was probably my favorite thing. And I liked going to the community. And one of the favorite things I would have to say that I did was whenever I went to Holdenville Middle School, and I was able to stop by in each class, and I was given like 15 minutes, and I was just spewing to them. I was like, you got to be yourself. I want to come back to this community, and I want to see that, you've done great. I can see the greatness in you. And I don't know, it was just really exciting to be able to be in that community because that's where my family's from. And after that, at some of the other events I was able to go to, I seen some of those kids, and they're like, I remember you came to my school, and it was just really cool. That was the things that I like doing, is talking to the kids.
Kids, you have a passion for kids?
Yeah, I like to be a caregiver, I guess.
So you said you just graduated from CMN, and what are your future plans after this?
I really, what I feel myself being fulfilled in is in the Mvskoke language, so whatever aspect that I can do, like I really want to become fluent. And this probably isn't a career goal, but I want to raise a first language speaker. That's my goal in life, so whatever gets me to that, I guess.
Yeah, it's a noble effort there. I'm amazed that both of you have the skill and knowledge of the language that you do right now. It just sort of blew me away when I heard you all. I wish I was as fluent as these two. I'm taking lessons, but I'm not quite there yet. But I just love to hear that. As the chance to travel and attend other events and things, meet other people, I've always been curious, and if both of you had the chance to sit and chat with royalty from other tribes and kind of compare notes or share complaints. Let's start with you, Claudia.
Yeah, I do. I like talking to other tribal royalty, like especially in the metro area, because whenever I was in college at UCO, I graduated from there too. I held that princess title, and so it was fun going back and being in those areas and seeing them hold different titles just as well as I'm holding different titles. I don't know. It's like a really good sisterhood that you form, whenever you're able to. And then it also helps me because this one time we were invited to his honor powwow for the Little Miss Indian Oklahoma City. And like, me and Gabby, we don't powwow, and I didn't know how to gourd dance, but I was like, we should at least try. And then I didn't even know, but you had to have money to go out there, for the honors. And like, I was so thankful for Miss Chickasaw Nation because she was like sliding me dollars, and I was like, oh, thank you. So yeah, she was really helping me.
Boy, the Chickasaws have been funding a lot of stuff lately.
Me.
Shannon, what about for you?
Yeah, because during my reign, it was pre-pandemic, so we got to travel a lot and meet with other royalty, and you kind of start going to the same events, so you get to form these friendships and these bonds with these other people that have kind of the same leadership responsibilities as you.
As you carried that title and met the other royalty, did you compare notes? Did you learn new culture or jokes even? And compare food? I mean, for both of you, please.
It might be easier for you to answer. I didn't really get to travel a lot.
Yeah, because then we also have different regalia and kind of the things that we're wearing, and then even all the pageants are different, so everyone has different categories and things going on, so it's kind of nice to see what all the other tribes are doing.
Yes. Yeah, I think about the same thing, probably like regalia, or being able to learn like different things from them. One thing that I really learned from being involved with some of the other princesses was Native American Sign Language, and they were really, helpful to me and Junior Miss to learn, these things. So.
Did you learn the Lord's Prayer?
Yes.
Yeah,
I learned two versions.
Yeah, I think that's standard requirement for all princesses.
Yeah.
Learn to do that.
So I'm curious, what was your experience like during the pandemic? Because even the last year's pageant was virtual, right?
Yes, it was.
So what was that like?
A
Was
virtual.
it a whole different experience than you expected, or?
Yeah, I guess it was because, I think everybody last year was like, oh, it's over. It's been a year and stuff like that. And it was just kind of a reality check whenever, it's like we still have to do these precautions so that we can get out it faster and stuff. So I guess that's all it really was just kind of a reality check.
Was there anything that you guys didn't get to do that maybe former princesses have done?
Yeah, there's a couple
She sounds
things.
upset.
I don't mean to sound upset because, I know, like, reality is different than, expectations. So I am aware. I don't really try to be upset about it. But there was a couple things, like, one of the things that I really wanted to do was the pink party that they usually have.
Mm-hmm.
That was probably one of the first things I ever volunteered at with my mom when I was like 8. So I just thought it would be full circle to come back and just be like, I'm so thankful for this because this was one of the first things that made me step up as a leader and as a volunteer. But it was okay. It didn't happen, but so.
Well, that's upsetting. That is upsetting. Maybe in the future you can help out with it some other way,
Yeah.
So what is one thing that, have you met all the contestants now? There's 7 of them, I heard.
Yes.
Okay, so you've met with them, and is there anything that stands out to you about them or about a certain one that you think that is a good representation?
It's kind of, I don't know. I think that they all, and every girl, I can see them stepping up and being this leader in these positions. I think that they all have very strong qualities. I know that's going to be hard for the judges, and I'm glad I'm not one of them because those girls, they were really impressing me at the royalty retreat, which was it was this month, April. So it was really good to see them be passionate about stuff and just want to even learn from me. Like, that was really humbling, so yeah.
You ought to think about a career as a diplomat. That answer covered a lot of space, but you didn't harm anybody in the process. Now, we were kind of listening to the question that Morgan posed about, I guess you would call them trade-offs. With this kind of position, you're in the public eye, people are watching you all the time. Does that mean it changes perhaps some of the activities in your life or relationships or things like that? I mean, is there a trade-off, do you think?
Yes, definitely. Just being more respectful of the place I hold, even like in a digital world. So that was something that changed. And, it was for the better, just because there's such a thing as like a digital footprint. So I got to be, it was a trade-off, but I think it was worthwhile.
I think you just have to get in that mindset of you're not just representing yourself anymore, especially even if you're just a contestant, you're still representing yourself, your family, your community, and then the tribe overall. And actually, they had an event that was the first time this year. I think it was called the Princess Picnic,
Yes.
Where they kind of got to meet with the young girls outside, so it was still trying to social distance and everything, but kind of encouraging the young ladies that aren't old enough to run for even junior miss yet, but kind of give them idea of what to look forward to, keeping their grades up, and just kind of getting ready to set on that path of being a leader.
Well, I've got you there. Let's take that question a step further. Now, as a princess, royalty, you carry one heck of a responsibility in representing our people. So, Shannon, do you recall how you went about it, or what was the most important thing for you to keep in mind?
For me, it was just being proud of being a Mvskoke woman and just wanting to make sure whenever I was out in public or even through social media that I just, did my best to represent the nation and just do my best to make everyone proud and trying to really get our Mvskoke language and culture out there for people to want to preserve it, especially our Mvskoke people.
Mm-hmm. Claudia? Did you forget the question?
A little bit.
That's all right. I tend to ramble sometimes. It's a responsibility. I mean, it's a heavy-duty kind of thing. You're representing an entire nation of Native people. And what's the most important thing then in carrying out that responsibility?
Something similar to what Shannon said. Sorry, it's like preserving the language, that the language is essentially also our culture. If we lose one, we lose the other. So that's something that I think is a big responsibility for me to push and reiterate. And also, not just within our people, but like outsiders, like I like to present the facts of who we are, That's something that's really important to me, because if we are, viewed as monolithic, we disappear. So that's why.
What has been your biggest takeaway and the thing that you will carry with you from this experience?
Biggest takeaway. I don't know. It was very impactful overall, I'll say that. Like a biggest positive takeaway, like there's a lot of ways to go that way.
I think you just you grow as a person
Yeah.
and develop a lot of your personal characteristics.
Yeah.
Awesome, that's good. So let's, you want to talk about the upcoming pageant, when and where, and...
Yes, so actually coming up soon we have a royalty ready. So this is the first time we're having this event. It'll be May 7th at Beggs High School Auditorium just for our contestants. So this is just going to be a chance for our contestants to practice, have less stage fright the day of the pageant, and kind of just get time to spend getting to know each other, the committee, and our outgoing royalty. And then we're also going to be able to make moccasins at the royalty ready.
That's exciting.
And you had mentioned that there was some new things with the new pageant this year.
Yeah, so one of the new things this year is they're going to be giving individual awards for different categories. So they're going to be awards that either Miss or Junior Miss contestants can win, and those include Best Self-Presentation, Written Word Communication, Stage Presence, and Cultural Presentation.
So what's the seating like, and how many people can come, or will there be masks required?
So this year the pageant is open to the public, so masks are not required, but they're recommended. We're also going to have refreshments served to go, because we're still going to try to follow the guidelines. There should be plenty of seating for people to social distance.
It's going to be at the Beggs High School Auditorium, June 4th at 2 o'clock. Doors open at 1:30.
Okay, that's in the afternoon. Was that a conscious decision, do you know?
I think so, or maybe just to get out a little earlier.
Yeah, there you are.
I think it's because usually when it's at night, the contestants have to really rush and they don't really get to enjoy the moment with their families.
Yeah.
That's got to be a big thing, an important element in this whole process is connecting with your family again and having them be proud. Claudia?
Yes, that is something that is really been impactful throughout the reign, was just seeing how proud my family was of me, like from my dad, my mom, my uncle. Like they were so proud of me that even after I was crowned, they had a surprise congratulatory party for me. Like I had no idea, but they were gonna have it anyway, even if I lost. But like it was just to see that support that they had for me for even trying. It was humbling. I remember crying a lot, and so that really set the tone of the support I would have from my family throughout my reign.
Mm-hmm. So even if you lost, you said, huh? So we're number 2.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Shannon, what are your remembrances of your family's reactions?
I always tell them they kind of won to my parents and my sister, because they helped me prepare, and they actually, I can only maybe 2 events that they weren't able to attend, so I feel like they got to share the year with me.
So, what would you guys say to the upcoming contestants about their competition?
I would just say good luck, be confident, know who you are and who you're representing, and don't let anybody let that falter. You have to be the base of what you stand on and to be proud and strong on. I don't know if that makes sense, but...
Yeah.
There is so much to be proud of and look forward to in this title. But what about the other side of the coin? Are there things you need to look out for, either in your personal presentations or relations with other peoples and officials and things like the good and the bad, I guess, is what I'm looking for here. You have any thoughts about that, Shannon?
Well, really, any contestant, we're just looking for Muskogee women, 14 to 24. You know, the day you submit your application to be a contestant, you don't have to have all the skills needed to be the next title holder, because we really rely on our current title holders, former title holders, and the committee and royalty coordinator to help kind of build you up and support you along the way.
Claudia, something to look out for or be careful of or something like that?
Like I said before, just social media, just to really watch yourself and know who you're representing whenever you take steps forward in the limelight, I guess. Another thing to watch out for, I guess, is just,
Think before you text, right?
yeah, think before you text, and that goes for people in your community too.
What about personal relationships? Do you sacrifice something there? I mean, you know, boys and girls tend to want to get together and, spend some time together. Is there something you might have to trade off there?
Sometimes just like family events, birthday parties, stuff like that. But it wasn't often, so. And I just usually hang out with my family, so.
Shannon, do you recall any of that you had to?
Can't have a significant other and be a Miss Muskogee
Yeah,
Nation.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of the
Overall,
rules.
I think it's worth it, because going into it, it's just a year of your life, and so you get to you want to focus and put all your hard work and attention into being the best title holder.
Stay pretty busy when you're in this capacity.
Yes.
So you probably don't even think about it, whether if you're missing out on friend time or extra time, you're just like
You're too
enjoying
busy.
it. Yeah.
Can't go to the lake and go fishing or swimming, things like that.
You can next year.
Yeah. You get to go to the prom.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm 23.
Okay. Well, do you get to? Somebody come up? No, I mean, are there other social kind of events that...
We work with the girls, so like our junior Miss Gabby plays softball, so we really kind of try to work around her schedule as too. So you don't have to stop everything in your life. We're willing to work with you.
Yeah.
So what are the roles between the two, between the Miss Muskogee Nation and the Junior Miss? Are they the same? Do you guys go everywhere together? Do you do separate things?
I think it's mostly the same. Like, they want us together at places, but, there's times where I'm at work and she's able to go. Like, that's how it was mostly in the summer. Or, there's times where, like, I'm able to come off of work and, she's at softball or she has to be in class. So it's just, they want us together. We have the same roles and we're just able to represent two different age categories. Like, she's able to reach younger kids. I'm able to sometimes reach older people, college. I think that's really what mine is to really push people to pursue a higher education, and hers is for, them to stay good while in high school to pursue the higher education.
If you were going to encourage some young women to become part of these pageants, what would you tell them? What advice might you put out there?
Mine would just be step out of your comfort zone. You never know until you try. And just people are going to be supportive and be there for you.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
if you win, what now? Claudia?
I got, along the same lines as, you'd never know. You just try. That's what things are in life, is just trial and error.
Okay. Well, Shannon, Claudia, we'd like to thank you for coming down to the studio and talking with us today. We appreciate you shedding some light on the event this year. A real quick logistical review: when, where, date, time, place.
Okay, so pageant day is going to be at Beggs High School Auditorium on June 4th at 2:00 p.m. Doors open at 1:30, and refreshments at the end will be served to go. If you have any questions, you can contact the royalty coordinator, Luann Bear, at lubear@muskogeenation.com.
Awesome. Thank
Meadow.
you, ladies.
Meadow.
So this stuff will kick off the festival activities for the summer, and we're excited. We got Ryan Logan coming in just a second to talk about some of those details.
So wait till you hit that hot sun and the dust.
I'm excited, but not.
We'll-
I'm going to be bringing my water. For
Okay,
sure.
good. All right. We're going to take a short pause here, and we'll be back with Ryan Logan and find out what we've got worked up for the this year's. Welcome back to Mvskoke Radio. I'm Gary Fife, sitting in with Morgan Taylor here. We're going to grill Ryan Logan here. All right, spill the beans. Tell us all the secrets.
He's yawning, so you know he's tired. He's working hard. Let us know. So what's the update so far? Where you at in the festival planning, and how's that going?
Festival planning is still on track. We are still hoping to announce the festival entertainment in the next few weeks. We kind of shoot for about a month out. But so far, everyone's just really excited. We're getting entry forms turned in to us, getting all posted online. Folks are contacting us about getting those events scheduled, getting those coordinators, getting those volunteers in. But yeah, we're just pumped and ready for the festival.
Oh, God, I mean, you say that's so easy. And in the years that I've been assigned to cover the festival, I see you guys just knocking yourself out. Trying to keep up, meet this. What do you mean they didn't show? Or what, the water doesn't work, or something like that. The little nuts and bolts of the festival. For people who are tuning in, we're speaking with Ryan Logan. We've got information now, and some information on this year's upcoming Mvskoke Creek Festival. It's been 2 years. I mean, does that present kind of a new hurdle or an old hurdle that you guys had to deal with?
Yeah, it's making me feel very rusty. I'm accustomed to doing this like clockwork, where we just kind of rinse, repeat, see what was good, what wasn't. But you're right, it's been a little over 2 years since we've had a festival, and the last festival records we have are Festival 2019, and it's 2022. So it is.
Has changed.
Yes, a little bit has changed. We have different staff, different coordinators, different volunteers. Sometimes this will be some folks' very first festival working at the nation, since it's been so long. So there's a few things of just getting everyone up to speed and making sure we all understand. So I know one of my, I wouldn't say favorite things, but one of the things I do enjoy is when we do have a new coordinator. Folks usually focus on their event, and after it's over they go, wow, I had no idea all these other things were going on. And I'm like, that's one of the beauties of the festival, is it's so complicated. It's like choreographing a dance. All the pieces have to move together. It just takes one little slip up and things start falling in a row. So we have to make sure that our coordinators have what they need, they have the proper volunteers, making sure all the departments work well together. But everyone's always excited for the festival. Everyone's chomping at the bit to jump in, to help out, to loan us a trailer or be in the parade, or help get some event staff. So
That's awesome.
It's
That's
something that
important.
we're blessed with. I'm very thankful. Our tribe, we do have true volunteers. This is not mandatory fun. We do not require employees to work a set amount of hours, and other tribes do. So I am very thankful that every person wearing one of those blue volunteer shirts chose to be there.
And we're all thankful for the day off afterwards.
I know last year people were mad when they thought the festival was going to happen, and then it ended up getting canceled again. So how's the reaction from then to now?
It's been really positive, especially since we're back on our normal calendar. We were going to try our best to put that festival together for September. It was going to be a very hard hustle back in 21, but we thought it would be better. We would try it. That's not the best time of year for financial things, since the nation's closing out a fiscal year. It's also not a great time because kiddos are back in school, so there's no summer family reunions. But we knew people were hungry for the festival, and we did miss them. So we were going to try, but unfortunately, that did not work out. But I think that just made folks that much more excited for this year, that we can come together, we can have that summer family reunion, and kiddos can be off school and they can truly enjoy the festival.
It was like, we can wait and make it great, or we can do it now and throw everything together and get what we get out of it.
Yeah.
So what are some of the new things that are being added to the festival, or are there any?
Yes. So one of the things with the festival is a lot of our events are getting a little bit larger. So for instance, like the fun fair with all the carnival rides. In years past, we've had carnival rides and we've had inflatables and ponies. Right now, we're looking specifically at carnival rides. So it's just increasing that more rides for folks. And now we're just constrained on land than based off of budget, since we are putting more money in that event. The same thing like cornhole is a brand new tournament we've never offered before. It's happening on the third weekend in June, which coincides with the Pecan Festival this year. And so again, that's something we've never been able to offer, but we want to make sure we do it great. So we're getting boards for that. We're putting up some prize money for it, and we're excited that's another event for the festival this year.
Do you think you'll be attracting all those cornhole sharks? I've seen some people who are just amazing at it, just bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, we want to make sure the tournament was competitive. So our coordinator for that is Latasha Monowing, and she does play. So that's the best thing, is if someone does have that passion. A lot of our coordinators, like Sean Partridge, for instance, is in 5K. She runs 5K. That's one of her, hobbies. It's something she enjoys, and so you can see her passion when she coordinates it.
That's cool. It gives them a job to do that's not their job. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's kind of neat. You get to delve into those other things that you like rather than your job. So what are some of the types of vendors we'll see out there?
We'll have a mixture of like arts and crafts vendors. We'll have a mixture of food vendors. We did fill last year in 2021, and so I know folks, when they looked at our website, they said, "Oh, they've already filled. When did they open?" Well, since September to June is not a huge amount of time. We were contacting those folks that took the time to enter in last time to see if they wanted to just come in. But we've had all Creek citizens for our food vendors since, I want to say, 2012. With regards to arts and crafts, it's a mixture. And then, of course, we always have our info booths, which is on Saturday on the main weekend. So that'd be Saturday the 25th. We have sometimes our casinos, our departments, sometimes just companies that come up and share information. They're not selling anything. Sometimes they give out promotional items, and they're under that tent we use for Stomp Dance.
Do the festival governors require Mvskoke or native citizenship? I know a lot of art shows do make that requirement these days. Would you have to be an indigenous person?
For arts and crafts?
Yeah.
No. Now, there's actually two different rates, actually three. There is a citizen rate, which is $60, and that's by law. The most a Creek citizen can pay at the festival is $60. There's a non-native rate and a native rate, I believe. But yeah, it's just a mixture of hodgepodge. We actually increased from our arts and crafts pavilions a few years ago at a secondary tent so people can kind of shop and see. But like I said, it is a true arts and crafts versus like a juried art show.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm glad you made that point.
You mentioned Stomp Dance. So I've had so many questions about Stomp Dance. Do you want to kind of elaborate on that?
We are planning to have a Stomp Dance. I've been working with one of my coordinators in getting a actual coordinator for Stomp Dance. In the previous years, we had David Proctor, which I'm sad to say is no longer with us. Very thankful for all the stewardship and leadership he's offered us throughout the years. I worked with him since 2011.
That's a long
so
time.
It's been a long time. I know we definitely want to honor David Proctor. He meant the world, not only me, but to the festival. He gave so much of himself. But yes, so we have got a coordinator for the festival Stomp Dance. I cannot recall who it is off the top of my head, since I've been out of state on travel for the tourism side of my job. But we are going to have a Stomp Dance this year. It has been confirmed.
One of the questions regarding the Stomp Dance is, I don't know if it's been resolved or what. There are what we call true believers who say it shouldn't be put out in the public like that, and others who feel like it's an educational process for our neighbors and the community. Did you find middle ground there, or how did you work that out?
Well, I feel like that I'm always in that middle ground spot. Since I'm in tourism, I see my job going throughout not only the country, sometimes the world, is educating folks about who we are as a people. But there's a very tight line of figuring out where education stops and then selling culture or selling items or presenting something that shouldn't be out there. So we're always kind of walking that tightrope. And so with Stomp Dance specifically for the festival, that is a huge cultural component, and we make sure and have gone through the different grounds and go to Miko saying, is this something that you guys would be interested in performing versus us just putting on a Stomp Dance. So we've been very fortunate that we've always had a Miko actually be the Stomp Dance coordinator, so that way we did have that respect and that boundary that we didn't do that without the ground's blessing.
That's wonderful. I know it's always been such a touchy subject.
Yeah, and I've heard that too, just in the past. But we've done it for so long now that we're kind of used to it at this point, I think. And for me, even growing up, and going to things like that, I think that I'm like in that middle ground. I like to educate. You know what I mean? I like to know. I like people to know. I think it's important. But there are those that are like, let's not do that. I don't think that's good. So. You always have that, though,
Yes, and that's what I just came back from Kansas City. I was working Comic-Con with the state of Oklahoma and Ponca City. And a lot of folks are like, oh, yeah, well, tell me about your tribal, holiday or your festival. And I love a powwow. And I let them know a powwow is not the same as Stomp Dance. I let them know that we are a very conservative tribe. This is not something that we do and share lightly. This is the one time of year that we do something, and it's because it is our festival. It is a huge piece of who we are, and that it is a huge thing for us to open that piece, to cook our traditional foods, to educate those people. And so I see it as true education because, we're not having the people coming up to us asking about, headdresses, and we don't have them saying, you guys still live in teepees. And that's what we're doing is we're stomping out those stereotypes. We're making sure that people know who we actually are versus who they think we are. Because I've had folks come up to me and go, oh, yeah, I just bought some of your native jewelry. And I'm like, oh, really? Yeah, I was at a Cherokee truck stop. And I was like, no, first off, I'm like, that was not a native truck stop.
Or native made.
And I was like, even if that was a Cherokee Travel Plaza, which I know it was not, I said that would not be my tribe, that would be the Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma's tribe. And it just melted their face. They were so upset. They felt like they got swindled. And I said, if you ever come through Oklahoma again, go to the tribe themselves. Go to their sanctioned gift shops or their art galleries or visit their actual complex of where they do business. And they'll direct you to find an artist that is authentic. But just like that person will never again just assume visiting at a store where it says, oh, this is native made. They'll think, oh, great. No, it's made in China.
Most people don't understand there's more than one kind of Indian,
Yes.
So I'm like, there's about 540 tribes. So, yeah.
About 200 of them in Alaska.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Some of those villages are like little villages on the highest spot in the mud hole.
We got to be careful there, huh?
No, yeah.
Too close to each other.
The ability to make these kind of mistakes is understandable. I mean, our peoples and cultures aren't taught in the educational system, so people have no real basis, I think. Do you recall let me ask, go ahead and ask this. Do you recall some of the dumbest questions people have ever asked you about this event?
I know I've been asked if we speak English, if they would be able to understand us at our festival. They wanted to know if we would have pictures of our homes because they didn't believe we lived in, just brick homes, or they thought we lived in our ancestral homes, and then sometimes they actually thought we were still building mounds and living in mounds here. So that's the thing. The further I get from the boundaries of Oklahoma, the more slack I give folks, because I want to make sure and let them know that what they're saying is not proper, but I don't want them to feel condemned by it. I'm saying this is an opportunity to educate someone, and if we do it in a positive way, then they will possibly share that with others. But if we kind of snap back at them and go, oh, they'll feel embarrassed, and then they won't want to talk about that again, versus maybe they want to share that with their friends and their family, going, wow, I went to this tribe and said some things I shouldn't have, and they nicely corrected me, and this is what is true. So again, trying to eradicate those stereotypes, and then welcome folks here, because the festival's a huge economic driver. I mean, there's so many people coming here, eating and, drinking soft drinks and, and water and Gatorade. I mean, it makes a lot of money for our vendors. It makes money for the city of Okmulgee. We bring a lot of folks internationally, and that's one thing I found out when we didn't have the 2020 festival, is when we were discussing it, a lot of the coordinators said, oh, I can't get my players here for softball. Where are your players? Oh, they're in Central America. I had no idea we had folks visiting all the way from Central America. And so this is truly an international festival, and it was highlighted because the borders were closed in 2020. So even that just shows how many people make their way to Okmulgee for the festival.
At the Tribal Finance Consortium, I think that's what it's called, Principal Chief said that he projected there would be about 40,000 visitors this year, if not more. So what's our normal or average rate, would you say, of visitors?
It's kind of went up and down. I know in years past it's been as high as 50,000 people. It kind of just goes up and down with the years of what other events are going on. Sometimes it's based off entertainment. Sometimes it's based off weather. So it just kind of depends. So like this year, for instance, we're going to be having our festival going on, but in Tulsa there's going to be a Route 66 festival going on as well.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And we are a part of that. So the nation will be represented just through some of our partners, because it's a state celebration, one in Oklahoma City and one in Tulsa. And we want to be a part of that because Oklahoma does have the most Route 66, has the most Route 66 in the country is in Oklahoma. And we have a substantial portion of that in our reservation. So we want to be a part of it, but unfortunately we can't work something during the festival.
What about working with the community of Okmulgee? Obviously they're glad to see the revenue, but you would have to coordinate a lot with other city agencies, plus, I don't know, Highway Patrol, Light Horse has to do that thing, and then city and county police working on security, and then of course the community itself preparing for this influx of people. So what do you do to make things work for you like that?
Well, we work with not only Light Horse Police, but also our Emergency Management Department. And then they have their colleagues from like Wagner Emergency Management, various other counties. We come together and discuss, what works, what doesn't, what are our plans for, weather events, what are our plans for evacuations, do we have a cooling zone? So we make sure that we're prepared, that folks can come out to the festival and have an enjoyable time, but also we're prepared if, bad weather happens or... But it's just having those partnerships. I know before that Oklahoma ODOT was actually putting out some traffic cones to Okmulgee a few years ago, which now is probably over 5 years ago since the last festival we had is 2019. And they were prepping like a construction zone, and we reached out and said, hey, you do realize we have a giant festival coming? And they said, oh no, we had no idea. And so they pushed that job off a week after the festival, and they took down their construction cones. So it's just sometimes notifying folks. But yeah, we try to work with our partners here. I know with the city of Okmulgee specifically, we utilize their city fields. We send over our 5K map so that way they can block off roads and sanction them off. We utilize the parade route on 6th Street, so they sanction that. So we go before their board and let them know what we're doing, and they've always been very gracious with us and working well with us in that regard.
They should be, quite happy with that relationship. I mean, we're talking millions of dollars.
Yes. Yeah. I think I know the Okmulgee Chamber is very, very happy that we put on our festival. We work very, very closely with them. I know we're still trying to work a few things out with the city of Okmulgee with like the cross deputization for Light Horse. But on the festival side of things, they've always been great partners of ours, probably because we do bring so much traffic and revenue in, especially to the surrounding businesses. I mean, a lot of folks stay at the festival, but I mean, if you're coming for 3 days, are you going to eat every meal there? No. Are you going to feel, well, as a patron coming back and forth, because you're going to be staying somewhere, the hotels fill up really quickly here, so they could be driving towards Henrietta, or they could be driving towards Tulsa, so that money is getting spread out quite a bit.
So I was wondering, and like we had the royalty crew in here earlier, so that kicks off the events for the festival, right?
Yes. Yeah,
And
they are the first ones.
Yep. Do you have a timeline kind of events with you today, or is it pretty tentative?
I don't have a timeline with me. Every weekend in June we have festival events. So the pageant kicks that off on the first weekend in June. The second weekend in June is our golf tournament, which that entry form is available online right now. We also have our tennis tournament for, I believe, the juniors, and that's available online. The third weekend in June, we have our slow pitch softball tournament. We have our adult basketball tournament, and now we have the cornhole tournament, and that's going on during Pecan Festival. And we are looking at adding another event. We're hoping to announce it pretty soon, but it'll be a basketball-centered event also on that third weekend in June. So,
We were listening to you a little earlier, and you mentioned the cross-deputization things and law enforcement coming on, which raises a question about security. Now, there are always people who get worried about missing children and how they got missing, or perhaps someone doing some underhanded kind of things. And you see fights. I mean, it's a natural thing. It just happens to guys are not liking each other, perhaps, or half a bottle of vodka down, and they're ready to take on the world. So, what sort of security can people expect when they come to the festival?
well, at the festival, Light Horse, of course, is always on site. We work with the Department of Interior to get one of their mobile command units. So that way we have our EMS and our police officers and emergency management on different channels. We also have surveillance towers that are lifted up in the air, so that way from the mobile command unit, officers are monitoring those stations at all times. So sometimes they're the eyes and ears that no one even sees. We partner with other law enforcement agencies and emergency management facilities to get more surveillance towers. So for the areas that are in high traffic areas, folks can monitor. But they'll always see light horsemen on foot. They'll be in golf carts, four-wheelers. We usually have a very large presence there. We actually hire additional officers for this through Light Horse Police. So they send that out there and hire different officers because we want to make sure that folks feel safe and secure. So you'll always see Light Horse physically there, walking around, making sure that people feel safe.
And all tribal laws are in effect, correct?
Yes. Where the festival grounds is trust land, it is tribal land, so Light Horse does have jurisdiction. So all laws are in effect.
What about carry concealed? No guns?
I'm not sure in that regard. I'd have to defer to Light Horse on that one.
Okay.
Mine's always like, no ice chest. We don't want any alcohol. This is tribal land. Alcohol is not allowed.
Right, yeah. We don't need none of that going on. No drunk Indians.
I've seen a few of them, and unfortunately find an empty bottle in a trash can in the dome, or something like that. As we let's keep going in this direction right now. Emergency medical, water, cooling stations. What have you got prepared or set up?
Well, we also have the nation's public health nurses will be doing a first aid tent, which is something we've done in the previous years as well. They also offer a cooling station, so they'll have water there. In years past, we'll have EMS, first aid, and first responders. We've already confirmed first aid and EMS. I know that we're still waiting to hear back from first responders. Because I want to say one of the worst accidents we've ever had at the festival was someone was cooking with grease and a gust of wind came and knocked over their tent and threw that grease on someone. I hate that happened, but I was thankful that EMS was within yards of that person. They could actually see them. So within less than a minute, that person was being seen by a medical professional, being treated, and being sent to the hospital. So we had everything there that we needed to make sure we had their safety is the most important and paramount thing.
One thing I saw a couple of years ago during the coming in the main entrance was a little table set up where children could get their names and stuff on wristbands.
Yes.
Now that seemed to be pretty popular, and the line for participating was pretty good size. So will you be taking those kind of precautions again? Will that be there?
I met with Light Horse Emergency Management, a lot of different departments last week, and that was discussed. They've done it in years past. I know that we do have different staff now, so I'm not completely sure if they would do it again. But I know that in that meeting, a lot of folks were for it. I know I'm a proponent of it. I know one of the biggest issues is that the festival has multiple entrances, so you won't capture everybody, but that main entrance, in my opinion, captures the most.
Yeah.
And so, even if we only get 75% of kiddos or even 50%, that's still 50% odds. If that kiddo's lost, we know exactly who to call, where to take them, all that fun stuff. But it's proven itself in the past, so I hope we continue to do it again.
So do you mean to say that it's been incident-free in that regard?
Oh, no, it's never been incident-free.
It ain't perfect, folks.
No. The numbers have gotten better. So actually in that meeting I referenced last week, we talked about by instituting that bracelet program, the numbers had been lowered substantially because instead of saying, hey, we have this many lost kids, when that kiddo is separated from their parent, they say, where's your mom and dad? I'm not sure. We can look at their wristband, send them a text message, give them a phone call saying, hey, we have your kiddo here, and reunite those family members.
Okay, we're going to have to wrap this up. We've got a minute or two left, but one of the more important issues has always been parking. Now, behind the dome, we put up the safety building, gorgeous thing and quite useful, but it also traded some parking space there, I presume. So have you made any other arrangements? Are you working on some kind of a situation?
I know we're looking to clear the land in front of the Omniplex, which we do that every festival. The biggest thing that was popped up was maybe clearing some additional land near the rodeo and trying to move that rodeo traffic from the arena to the east side of the arena, so it'd be north of the Travel Plaza. But I know that's still in discussion. Tribal Construction was in that meeting. I think they might be even looping in other departments to try to see if that could be done, but parking is paramount.
Is there a place that anybody can get information, looking for updates, like the Facebook page, right?
Yes, they can go to our Facebook page. It also links to the festival's website, and also our tourism site will link you over there as well.
Brian, thank you so much. We appreciate you coming in and filling us in, and we'll have you back as the things develop.
Okay, sounds like a plan. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, we have a few announcements we care to share. You want to kick us off, Morgan?
Yeah, it looks like this Friday, April 29th, there will be a community cleanup event at the MCN Tribal, or registration will be at the MCN Tribal Executive Building Canopy at 12:30 p.m. There will be routes to take crews to clean along the side of the highways, I believe, from 1 to 3. Afterwards, volunteers will meet at the recycling center for fellowship, cookout, t-shirt, and prizes. For more information, contact 918-549-2580.
And there's still time to nominate Mvskoke person for the Living Legends ceremony, set to happen on June the 23rd at River Spirit, and they'll be putting more information out like that.
We are still in Sexual Assault Awareness Month, April. Today, wear denim. And then Friday, Community Awareness Scavenger Hunt at the College of Mvskoke Nation from 11 to 2.
Okay, that should do it for us for this week.
I'm good. Everybody else? Anybody else? Nobody else.
Nobody else.
Okay.
Have you ever covered one of these festivals?
Not yet. It'll be my first time.
No.
I've been, but I've never worked one yet.
Well, we'll fix that real quick. You find out there's a lot of fun going on, but good Lord, it can get hot and your feet get tired and dusty. But you still have to keep going and looking for that perfect photo.
Oh, the perfect photo. That's what it's about.
Now,
I'm tired thinking about it, though.
You will be assisting me on the live broadcast of Mvskoke Radio from the fairgrounds, right?
Yeah. I plan to.
Okay.
Yep, I'll be there.
All right, well, let's get out of here. Appreciate you all listening in. Mado Mambo Hedget Scott, Gary Fife, Jaho Jefkiros.
Hello.
You've been listening to Mvskoke Radio. Join us again next week for more local, tribal, and community news and updates. Mado.